Hi there. Today is March 21st, 2025. I just came from the hospital. Due to a insurance kerfuffle, the sigmoidoscopy that was supposed to take place today has been postponed till April 3rd. But this morning, I had my 3-month oncology surveillance return, and I took a blood test yesterday so that we could look at some markers for the cancer and whatnot. And the main marker that we're looking at is elevated. It's not a really super accurate marker for this cancer. It could be any number of other things, anything from a lung infection to a large bowel or whatever. So we're gonna do a CT scan. Hopefully, I think it's the day before the sigmoidoscopy, so maybe April 2nd, and which will be also a CT of my lungs and everything to make sure that's not the issue. So if the cancers come back, there's we've exhausted everything that can be, all the treatment options that there are, short of another surgery. But that's sort of getting ahead of the game right now. So the sigmoidoscopy, they're going to go in and take a look at the former surgical site, former cancer site, and they're going to see if there's anything there. And so we'll know pretty quickly. And the people that had originally ordered this sigmoidoscopy, which is basically a colonoscopy, but they're just looking at the descending colon, because the cancer site was in the rectum initially, so they don't have to go that far into it. The people that had originally ordered this were the GI people, the gastrointestinal people, but I think the surgeon is going to take a look as well. And so yeah, we'll see where we're at in 2 weeks. I've been out in the desert for the past couple of months, doing as much soaking as I possibly can at this pair of hot springs down by the Mexico border in eastern California. Hoteville Hot Springs and Slab City Hot Springs, and soaking every day. What's really great about those hot springs, that because they're on the same geological seam, they're both lithium springs, and they really draw a lot of your minerals out of your body. So I'm hoping that they're drawing a lot of the toxins from all the treatments over the past 4 years as well, and that may be why this thing is elevated, because all those toxins are being moved around. They're not just hiding away or hidden away. So for those of you that don't know, that's Santa Monica right there. and that's the Palisades. That's where the fire took place, and that's where I used to park, right there. Through the past 2 years of going through these cancer treatments and whatnot. And I just talked to somebody that lost a house up there when I was at the store, re-upping on some supplies, water. And you can't drive through there. I asked him if you could drive through, and he says, no, you can't drive through there yet, unless you've got a pass or something. I don't need. But yeah, can't go home again. Kind of weird. What I wanted to show you, though, well, it's going to get really windy here, so we'll just skip it. There's a lot of fire debris on the beach. It's not as bad as it was, but it's definitely, going to be there for a while. And yeah, big changes for everybody. I haven't posted one of these in a while because, I felt like, the world's going through so much stuff right now. The last thing they need is to be, following me along in my little struggle, which at the time just seemed like it was me working on my recovery. So, not much to see here, because I did as I said I was going to, which was to go out into the wilderness and get lost for a while, which is what I'm about to do when I get off of here. I'm going to head back out for the next 2 weeks. Try to get as healthy as I can before this next procedure and series of tests and whatnot. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I was feeling pretty good, actually. I wasn't expecting to get this another little setback. I'm hoping to get myself strong enough to be able to fly again soon. And I've decided that no matter what happens, no matter what they say about, where the cancer story is, I'm going to fly next month, one way or the other. And yeah, so that's what's up. That's pretty much all I had to say. Thanks again to everybody that's keeping me in their thoughts and prayers, and everybody that has over the years contributed to my continued well-being in whatever way. Especially those folks that contributed to the GoFundMe that I had. I guess I still have it up. Hasn't seen a lot of use lately because I didn't think I needed it, but here we are. So I'm feeling like it's all on me now. I'm as I said, they said, that there isn't a whole lot that they can do. And if the cancer has come back, because we've already done everything, the chemo, the radiation, surgeries, and whatnot. But I'm not calling that in. I'm not feeling like I'm dying right now. I know what it feels like to feel like you're dying. So, but I'm definitely in kind of a limbo state, not knowing for sure one way or the other, and not going to know one way or the other for a while. That stuff can weigh on you if you don't have your head on straight. So, the good news is I stood on my head yesterday. I just ran on this beach. So my knees feel pretty good. They feel better than they did when I was training to fly paragliders. You know, got a nice tan. As if that mattered, right? So, yeah. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it there. Feel free to DM me. I know that a lot of people have been emailing me directly because they haven't seen one of these in a while. And so I just kind of filled them in on the fly. But, you know, we're back on the business again, I guess. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know when I know something of significance, and I'll try not to bother you. Until then, about the world, I really feel like, you know, the United States has finally arrived at its point of reckoning. It's been 200 years, over 200 years of you know, doing what it can to reach where it is, and now we're here, and we get to decide, you know, what kind of country we want to be from here on. And you know, all those folks that wanted to make other people suffer are getting to see what that's about. All the people that had ill intent are showing their cards, undeniably, and here we are together, just like we were before. Just excuses changing, I guess. The thing is, I've seen where we're going. I've seen where humanity as a species, where this planet is going, and it's a good place. So everything that I'm witnessing right now is how do we end up there? How do we get there? You know, and it's starting to make sense that you know, all of our faults are coming to the surface, and all of our mistakes. You know, the fact that the country was, you know, the White House, the Constitution, the Congressional Capitol building were built on slavery, and you have the current regime yesterday signing an executive order saying that, or the day before, that it's okay for government contractors to segregate. You know, that segregation will not be a will not bar somebody from getting a government contract. I mean, that's just insane. Because to me, the reality is we're all infinite and immortal beings. Every person, every soul on this planet, all 8.2 billion of us, is on a spiritual mission. And every one of us has and will incarnate as whatever gender is necessary depending on our earthly mission. Anybody that hates this kind of people enough will reincarnate as that person in the next, in the future, in their future. The golden rule doesn't stop just because somebody chooses to believe in racism. You know what I mean? There's a reason why it's called the golden rule, because it's a suggestion that if you want to live in the best way for yourself, don't hurt anybody, right? But we're all here to help one another learn, because none of us are free until all of us are free. And this is where, the group of souls that decided to incarnate at this time to help this transition, every person here is an infinite and immortal child of the light, of the source of the light. And some of us are aware of that fact, and some of us are completely ignorant of that fact. And it's game time. We're here now to help that 1/3 of the population of the world that is not getting it. We're here to help them get it. Because none of us can step forward into the future that I've been given to understand, until we all appreciate who we all really are as infinite and immortal beings, period. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. You cannot build anything on lies, especially the lies that you tell yourself. That's just, you don't get a pass for that. And that's why we are where we are, because there's been, obviously, the liar in chief has been working overtime, and 1/3 of the population is believing, in things that aren't real. You cannot be okay with the suffering of another person, because that is you. We each are going to live every friggin' lifetime. Right? We live everybody else's lifetime, right? And especially when we hurt someone, right? When we go to our life review, we experience what we did from the perspective of the person that we hurt. So there's nobody's getting off scot-free here. So anyway, that's my take on what's happening. I'm going to probably be laying a bit more low than I had planned for obvious reasons going ahead here, but I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, we love you.